morning. It's not morning. I say good morning every freaking time. It's 12:30.
We're off to a hot start here.
What else do you expect? It's a Monday. It's a good Monday. Energy's high. We're going to have a good week. Got lots of recaps to go over this weekend. Successful weekend for the Tigers. Gymnastics, men's basketball, women's basketball, some recruiting, and defensive staff for football. Good news on that front. We're going to get right into it. Before we do, shout out to St. Rock. We've been shouting them out a lot. If you haven't bought the vodka already, you're missing out. We talk about it all the time. We can't tell you enough how good the vodka is, but even if you don't drink vodka, this is a way to support the LSU athletes that we talk about, that we watch, that you guys love to hear from. You can't throw all kinds of money at them. Go buy a bottle of vodka. It goes back to Bayou Tradition. Some of the proceeds do, and that goes to NIL, which means your athletes are getting paid. Help them out, support them, and drink some good vodka while you do it. Shout out to St. Rock and 7-3 Distilling in New Orleans. The vodka's not the only thing that tastes good. So if you're not a vodka drinker, they've got some really good whiskey, huh, Joe?
Yeah, Bywater bourbon is incredible.
He's a big fan. We don't have any more in the shop because Joe is such a big fan. All right, let's get into it. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's rock. All right, gymnastics on Friday. They had 12,000 plus people in the PMAC. Lots of little girls waving pom-poms. Really cool to see. Lots of Livy Dunn signs, Haleigh Bryant signs. It was good to see the girls back. The energy was really high. And they came out with a win. It was a very close win. They ended up beating Ohio State, who was ranked 14th before that. In the season opener, 196.975 to 196.775. It came down to, obviously, this happens a lot in gymnastics, but it came down to a lot of little things, some falls on beams, kind of bumped those numbers up and down. So, but good showing. I know Jay Clark said in the presser after that this was, this is not where they're going to be at the end of the season, but it is a damn good start for their season opener. Haleigh Bryant, Queen of Vault, proved herself again. She came out as the anchor with a 9.950 on vault. She took that title home as well as the highest all-around scorer at the meet. Amari Drayton, freshman, stepped into her role kind of on a whim. She was a member of the 2021 U.S. Olympic team trials. She scored a 9.925 on vault, so she came in right behind Haleigh. It was them two in the presser after the meet, and it was really cool to see the veteran role and the freshmen that just got their first experience in the PMAC and kind of got thrown into an event they weren't planning to take part in, and how they bounced off each other in the press conference. And Haleigh was taking on kind of leading her through the press conference. Amari was a little bit shy, I think, to talk to the media, but there's definitely a big sister, little sister kind of role between them. And Amari definitely talked about how much she looks up to Haleigh, which was really cool to see. Haleigh is a very confident, successful gymnast that obviously if you're a freshman on the team, you're probably looking at her like, I think Amari said, I want to be Haleigh Bryant when I grow up,
yeah.
Which was really precious to see. They did struggle on beam. So out of all four events, that was their downfall, I think. It kind of, the first meet of the season, right? You find out really where you're struggling, kind of exposes you a little bit. Beam was definitely the event for LSU that needs some work. Sierra Ballard and Connor McLean both had falls, but both bounced back incredibly well, because Ohio State had a fall that ended up like the routine wasn't finished. There may have been an injury involved. But I do want to commend those girls for the confidence and for coming back up with a smile and killing the rest of the routine. Jay Clark talked about Sierra in the presser after and how she's really grown into herself. And, she wasn't always that way. If had that happened a couple years ago, she may have gotten in her head, had some more slip-ups on the beam. She got right back up, killed it, and then continued to kill. She absolutely demolished floor. Her routine on floor was wonderful. So it happened. She let it go and she moved on. She helped LSU get a win. Kaya Johnson, back after injury last season. She had a 9.925 on bars, took that title home. It was actually her 41st career title, that bars title. She is normally an all-around gymnast. She does all four events, but she cramped up. And this is what I was saying. Amari got pulled into floor without knowing that she was going to be competing in floor that day. And imagine that. You're a freshman. It's your first meet in the PMAC in college. There's 12,000 people in the stands, and you're told, hey, actually, Kaya's not going to compete on floor because she's cramping up and we don't want to push an injury. You're on. Holy hell. And she killed it. She did so well. LSU on floor looked great. Clark even said in the presser that, like, it had all 4 events gone the way that they were, or the way that they competed on floor, it would have been a blowout. Hopefully they can get to that point by the end of the season. But again, a very, very good start. Lots of people stepped up. What's up?
He said in the presser that the floor performance was championship level.
Oh yeah.
Like he was very, very confident and felt really good about that. Also, just the fact that they were right there knocking on the door at 197 while including a fall on beam, really impressive for the first meet.
2 falls on beam.
Yeah, but including one.
Oh yeah, because for those of you who don't know, one gets, like, you can drop one. So if there was a fall, if there was only one fall and you drop it, then it's no falls. But there were 2, so only one counts. Just a little Gym 101, teaching you a little bit. They are headed to, what? It's like a 4-team.
A quad, yeah, in Utah.
Yeah.
It's so it's a 3-day event. LSU goes on the second day, I think, against Oklahoma,
Yep.
Utah, and UCLA. The other 2 days, I'm not entirely sure who's meeting. But.
Regardless, they talked about the level of competition at that quads tournament is going to be up there. A lot of good teams. Again, another chance to see where you're at, learn from your mistakes in the first meet, and move forward. What are you smirking at? Lila's on the couch snoring. That's what you're smirking at. Okay. Men's basketball, an upset win over Texas A&M. First SEC game. They are now 1-0 in SEC play. They upset them 68-53. I know people were really hyped after that game because I'm going to be honest, I don't think a lot of people thought they'd come out of that victorious. First half, struggled on offense, just kind of not being as aggressive, attacking the paint, kind of staying on the perimeter, missing shots. Second half, completely different ball game. The offense just turned on. They were driving. They outscored Texas A&M 38-21 in the second half. Jordan Wright really took initiative, stepped into that veteran role. Comes from Vanderbilt. If you haven't seen that interview with him, check it out. You get to learn a lot about his 4 years at Vandy, why he's at LSU now, kind of how he sees himself on this team and the role that he holds here. And he showed that this past weekend, just being able to take initiative, take halftime, make the adjustments, and come back and put points on the board. He had 20 points and 10 rebounds. Jalen Cook came in right behind him. He had 13 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. The defense still struggling to give up shots on the perimeter, but one thing at a time. This is something they know that they've been working on. And to see them get an SEC win, first game right off the bat, very promising. I'm sure Matt McMahon is very pleased with the way that they played this past weekend. They'll be back on Tuesday in the PMAC against Vanderbilt at 8, which will be really cool. Again, Jordan Wright played there for 4 years, so kind of playing your old team is always something special. I'm sure we would love to see him just go off. That's normally a lot of times what happens. When you play your old team, there's like that little extra incentive or motivation to kind of show off and do your best. So Tuesday at 8 in the PMAC, LSU versus Vandy. Women's basketball also got a win this past weekend. They are on a 15-game win streak. The only loss they have, that opening game in Vegas. They beat Ole Miss 84-73. All 5 starters ended in double figures for 83 of 84 points. Mikaylah Williams. Man, that ankle breaker, huh?
Yeah, that was gross.
It was so nasty. It's on our Instagram. It's on like ESPN Sport. It was actually SportsCenter's 6th in the top 10 plays. She came in at 6, but just a nasty, this poor Ole Miss player just flew across the court on the ground, and Mikaylah just so calmly took her time and just wet 3. Like it was so nasty. Check it out. It's on our Instagram. But she finished with 20 points, had 7 rebounds, 4 steals. Angel Reese and Aneesah Morrow combined for 34 points, 17 boards. Angel had 21 on her own. Hailey Van Lith scored 13 points. Flau'Jae scored 16. So that starting 5, they just look like it's undeniable how good they are. Truly, there's not a hole on that court. I don't think there's not like this person might be the weak link. I don't feel that way at all. They've all got something to bring to the table. Clearly, the numbers say it. You watch them play, and you're just enamored by the way that they move as a team. Have definitely, that's their second SEC game of the year, so they're 2-0 right now. But I feel like they've been through a lot of adversity already, just between injuries, people not being with the team for a little bit, and Kim Mulkey has done a hell of a job piecing things together to get them to this point to where they do have a consistent lineup, and the chemistry is real, and it's good. They'll be back on Thursday again in the PMAC. They'll play Texas A&M. Trying to set up maybe some women's basketball content this week. It's in the works. We'll keep y'all posted with whatever we have planned. Maybe some stuff with Mikaylah Williams. Fingers crossed. I'm putting it out there because if I speak it into existence, it'll happen, right? But yeah, again, back on Thursday, 7 p.m., Texas A&M. Hopefully trying to go 3-0 in SEC play and football. We normally start with football, but the other sports, the other teams deserve their flowers for the performances they put on this weekend. Football, however, got some huge news, more than one piece of news, I guess. Blake Baker has been hired. There were a lot of speculation that he was coming back, and I think somebody pulled up a tweet from, when was that? It
was Friday during the day.
Yeah, but the tweet of when he said, "I'm not leaving."
Oh, that was like December 28th.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, he had tweeted that he's not leaving Mizzou. He did leave Mizzou like 3 weeks later. He was their defensive coordinator and safeties coach for the past 2 seasons. He was LSU's linebacker coach in 2021, meaning he coached Damone Clark. He had a lot of good things to say about Baker, a lot of positive reactions to the hire. But I think we all kind of knew because LSU's website slipped up and had him on the staff, right? He was on the staff page before it was announced. Who caught it? Who tweeted it out? Somebody was stalking and doing, and I don't even know how you find this stuff, but
they did take it down though.
I know they did, but not before somebody got a screenshot. So it was already out there, and then they announced it. We were in the gym meet maybe when they announced it. So late on Friday night, they were like, you know what, cat's out the bag. We gotta just own it now. But yeah, how do you slip up? Like, did you accidentally publish before it was supposed to go out?
Somebody's in trouble.
God bless. That would suck though. Like that's like it's happening and you just posted it too early and you're just out now. Anyway, Baker's back. I think our defense is in pretty good hands. I keep seeing tweets and memes about how he's going to use Harold Perkins next year. I'm excited to see that. Anyway,
I will say I've seen some LSU fans say like, why are we so excited about Blake Baker? LSU hung 49 on him. All right, you either get to be really ecstatic about how good our offense was and maybe say that's probably why they hung 49 on him. Like, I don't understand.
We'll go with that.
We just find things to be mad about.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like, no offense, because we are LSU fans, obviously, but I feel like sometimes we have the toxic trait of like trying to find problems, trying to find things to be mad at. Let's just take this win. Give the offense credit. Don't take anything away from Blake Baker because of the score in the Mizzou game, but give the offense credit. You had a Heisman quarterback. You had record-breaking receivers. Like, come on. And also, you've moved on from Matt House. So many people, that's all you wanted all season. Matt House gone. Matt House gone. He's gone. And now we're going to have an issue with hiring Blake Baker? Sorry, guys. It's not going to fly. Let it go. We're in good hands. And every time.
Look at
Madden
Madden.
by Madden 2000. Ooh, that game's fun. I used to play that one. And some other football news, some really, really, really awesome football news. Bryce Underwood is a Tiger. And now Brian Kelly has locked in not only Underwood, but Harlem Berry and DeCorian Moore, meaning he's got the number 1 quarterback, the number 1 running back, and the number 1 receiver in the 2025 recruiting class. Brian Kelly did his work, definitely preparing for to hopefully have a monster roster within the next 2 years. Thoughts on these recruits? You know, I'm not big into recruiting, but that is really, really promising news for the organization.
Yeah, it's super promising, and that's always a great start. Like in recruiting, it's not about when they commit; it's about when they sign. You got to get pen to paper. Look, we just saw with Texas A&M. We flipped several people from A&M. Now you have to prevent that from happening to us. But I seem to remember there's a lot of people up in South Bend that were trying to tell me that Brian Kelly can't recruit. Feels weird now. It feels
they're mighty
weird.
Quiet now, huh? You know what? There's so much talk there. After this season, I don't know what's true, what's not. Brian Kelly's doing his work. He's taking care of business, getting rid of who he needs to get rid of, bringing in the people he needs to. Give the man some credit. I know, like, the initial culture fit might not have been everybody's cup of tea of how he came in here, but he's doing his work, and I think he's doing his best to put this program in the best position to be really successful in the next couple of years. And I mean, the players he's bringing in just line up exactly with that mission.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's about all we got. Lots of recaps, little football news, but we're lining up some content this week. We've got excited things planned, or we're really excited about the things we've got planned coming up. But we will be back Thursday, right? Women's basketball, men's basketball, and we'll keep you all posted with everything going on around football. We appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all so soon.